When I participated in an interview for a love training program, when asked if I had ever been in love, I calmly replied, I was too clingy, so we broke up. The program interviewed the movie queen by Ning Bing again with the same question. She pitifully replied, I was too cold to me, so we broke up. Netizens were seething, starting to search for the movie queen's bad, unreasonable boyfriend. I secretly retreated to the back, trying to be invisible, receiving the invitation to participate in love training. I initially didn't want to go, but the reward they offered was too generous. After I went to love training, I found out that Bai Ning Bing's ex-lover was also participating. Her current rumored lover was also there. The two of them had just collaborated on a hit TV series. The love story in the series made netizens crazy. As for me, Fong Yuan, a guy who only had a handsome appearance, but was scolded for everything he did. It was all thanks to Xiaofeng. He had harmed me many times. In the eyes of netizens, I am the type of evil male supporting character. As soon as I met Ha Fong, he smiled at me. The smile made me feel nauseous. Brother Fuang Vien, I didn't expect you to come. Why didn't you tell me? I avoided him. His hand coldly moved away. That's something you didn't expect. I'm not your father. Why do I need to report to you? He sniffled, his eyes red, looking aggrieved. I ignored him. If he dared to provoke me this time, don't blame him. I tore him apart. Everyone arrived. Bach and Gungbang resolutely took the center position. Ha Fong stood proudly next to her. The live broadcast began. As soon as netizens saw it, they loudly praised that Bach movie queen and Fong Fong were such a beautiful couple. They must be together. But why did Bach and Gungbang's eyes keep looking at me, making me feel uneasy? At the beginning of the program, I don't know what the director was up to, but he asked us to open our luggage to bring along. I was stunned and instinctively asked, what about men's privacy? Netizens who care about personal privacy flooded the screen with comments. I want to see what cute things Fong Fong brought. I want to see what Queen Bai brought. I noticed that everyone's expressions didn't change, and immediately understood that this was a prearranged part. However, Xiaofeng and I were in the same company, but no one informed me. Before anyone could speak, Xiaofeng opened his suitcase. I'm very willing to share my luggage. I think since I'm here to practice love, I should show the audience my true self. What do you think, Brother Fan Yuan? He smiled falsely. I sneered inwardly. Then he began to display the things he brought. This is pajamas. I like fluffy pajamas, very cute. Wow! The pajamas are so cute. Fong Fong is indeed a fragrant guy. Seeing Fong Feng's generosity, someone was hiding things. Probably don't dare to show it to others. This is my cosmetics. As a man, you have to take good care of your skin. Fong Fong is so thoughtful, I love him to death. Fong Fong is so cute, who wouldn't like him? Next, he blushed and quickly hid something behind his back, stammering. This doesn't need to be seen. How could netizens ignore it? The director's eyes lit up, following the crowd. He bit his lip, took out something effeminate, lowered his head, and explained in a low voice, this is what I prepared for myself, not for anyone else. In his hand was stomach medicine. Everyone knew that Bai Ning Bing often had stomach aches because of filming. Wow! This is prepared for Bai Ning Bing? Fong Fong is so stupid. What is there to hide? This is all love for the movie Queen Bai. I ship the stock as real, for sure. Bing Fong and his wife. Hurry up and make it public. Am I the only one who thinks he's fake? If he really prepared for himself, why would he do this? The doubts were immediately drowned out. The fans chose to ignore him. Xiaofeng turned the suitcase upside down. The internet was full of praise for him. He looked at me smugly. I glanced at him indifferently, then looked at Bai Ning Bing. His eyes were like a puppy begging for praise. Bai Ningbing didn't even glance at him, but looked at me. I quickly lowered my head and pretended not to see. They've already broken up, but still have such eyes. It's really killing me. Which netizens care who he's looking at? Take a photo and put together. Look at each other. The losers must be Bing Fang shares. Next, the director turned the lens towards me. I had no choice but to open the suitcase. There were a few sets of clothes, 2 bottles of rose water and spare lotion, and quite a few snacks. Underwear was kept separately in a small bag. Luckily, I always had this habit. I shrank my neck, wondering if the manager would scold me to death if he saw me secretly eating snacks. Fong Yuan only uses rose water and lotion. His skin is so beautiful. Is he deliberately showing off? Fake. Before that, he was talking about privacy. Is this try to build an image of someone who likes to eat snacks? Ha, so funny. Who would bring a suitcase of snacks to practice love? So old. I didn't know that I was being scolded for a suitcase. Not seeing me embarrassed, Hafong looked unhappy. Finally, it was Bai Ningbing's turn. Her suitcase was also simple. She just smiled and took out a few bags of chocolate. I didn't expect that Bai Ningbing would like to eat this kind of chocolate. I like to eat it too, huh? A suitcase full of snacks. A person who likes to eat chocolate. They're a bit similar. You guys, don't ship randomly or you'll get killed. I avoided Bai Ningbing's eyes. This kind of chocolate is what I like to eat. She doesn't eat chocolate at all. The host excitedly asked, Bai Ningbing, Queen Bai, why did you bring 2 bags of chocolate? She smiled brightly, her eyes looking at me as if there was something there or not. Someone likes to eat it. I brought it to him on purpose. The social network exploded. Dig it up. Does Queen Bai like Xia Fong? She really loves it too much. It must be Fong Fong. Their eyes in the movie looked at each other as if they were about to stick together. So if you say it's innocent, I don't believe it. Can Xia Feng's fans stop being so sentimental? There were many male guests that Xia Feng approached, coquettishly looking at the chocolate in her hand. Surprised, she covered her mouth. So it turns out that Sister Bing also likes to eat this kind of chocolate. I like to eat it too. What a coincidence. Bai Ningbing quietly stuffed the chocolate back. In the suitcase, calmly replied to him, Yeah, Ha Bai Film Queen is embarrassed. Everyone doesn't know. Only real lovers are like that. If it's not a real lover, then you have to be a little polite. It seems like what was said above makes sense. Didn't everyone notice that Fong Yuan also had chocolate in her suitcase? So what? Didn't you want to share the ice wind shares? Next, there was nothing special, but the hots exploded. All the hashtags were that Shang Ha Fong, and Bai Ningbing had the same taste. Sheng Fong Yuan shared the same taste. Sheng Fong Yuan deliberately touched Bai Ningbing. The room was arranged on the 2nd floor of the hotel. Bai Ningbing pulled the suitcase. It seemed a bit difficult. Xia Feng saw this and immediately approached Sister Bing. Let me carry it. Smiling brightly like a flower, he reached out to take the suitcase from Bai Ningbing's hand. However, Bai Ningbing leaned to avoid it, firmly saying, No need. Fong Yuan will help me. I stood beside and heard Bai Ningbing's words, secretly happy in my heart. Xia Feng, his face stiffened, a little embarrassed. He pulled his hand back, but still looked pitiful and said, Sister Bing, Fong Yuan's suitcase. He can't even take care of it. Let me carry it for him. Bai Ningbing glared at Xia Feng, I said no need. Fong Yuan can do it. After speaking, Bai Ningbing pushed the suitcase towards me, her eyes signaling me to take it. I quickly took the suitcase, looked at Xia Feng smugly, then followed Bai Ningbing back to the room. I had a headache following Bai Ningbing. The room was self-selected. She deliberately chose a room next to mine, so it would be convenient to leave her stuff. Xia Feng stood there, his face gloomy. His fans saw the scene and started cursing me online. I carried the suitcase into Bai Ningbing's room. She turned her back to the camera, using a vague look to glance at me. Before, whenever she was like this, I would immediately rush in. My heart was pounding, still unable to resist his face. I quietly swallowed my saliva, intending to chase her away, when she turned around and left. Okay, maybe I was thinking too much. We had already broken up anyway. After packing my luggage, I went downstairs to continue the program. In the hallway, Ha Fong saw me, immediately brought the cameraman over, and smiled gently. Fong Veen, can I stay with you? I quietly avoided his hand, apologizing. I like being alone. Brother Fong Yuan, are you trying to get rid of me? Xiaofeng's eyes immediately filled with tears, as if he was being bullied. The netizens were in uproar again. What's wrong? Our Fong Fong agreed to be with you, but you still refused. I don't know, but I thought you were some big shot. How dare you give Fong Fong? Look at my expression. I didn't care what the netizens said. Anyway, I had already lost my reputation, so whatever I said was wrong. I had been a foil for Xia Feng more than once. You know, why are you asking? I said coldly. He clearly sniffled, continuing to look pitiful. I just want to be a little closer to you. Everyone is friends. You pushed me down the stairs, and you still said we were friends. You're such a good person. He didn't expect me to say it so bluntly. I didn't care either. Anyway, I was scolded, and no one listened to my explanation. I believe you. Last time was definitely not careful. Yeah. I smiled meaningfully at the camera, turned my head and said, Don't stay with me. I often go crazy and beat people up in the middle of the night. Xia Feng's small face was pale, pretending. I want to say, I don't care if his fans go crazy or not, and I don't care if the company defends him or not. Bai Ningbing also opened the door and walked out. Seeing me, she smiled brightly. I was afraid she would pounce on me, so I walked around her and ran away. Xia Feng's tears fell, weakly begging Bai Ningbing for comfort. Sister Bing. Bai Ningbing didn't pay any attention to him, then chased after me. The netizens all defended Xia Feng. What's wrong? Can someone like Fong Yuan be kicked out of the entertainment industry? Why did they just show Fong Fong their expressions? Last time he pushed Fong Fong. Fong Fong didn't even bother with him, yet he was so proud. Movie Queen Bai chased after her, and then went to find Fong Yuan to avenge Fong Fong? Movie Queen Bai spoils Fong Fong too much. I quickly ran downstairs. The other guests had all arrived. I quietly found the most hidden place, standing to participate in this entertainment. I wanted to be invisible. Bai Ningbing chased after her, saw me standing at the edge, and also squeeze in. Audience, why is Movie Queen Bai standing next to Fong Yuan? I didn't understand. Did she want to help Xia Feng get justice? Why do I keep feeling something's wrong? I also feel something's wrong. Why do I have the feeling that Movie Queen Bai is? But it was okay. The director quickly rearranged the lineup. Men and women stood in 2 rows facing each other. Bai Ningbing stood in the center, facing Xia Feng. As for me, the host pulled me to stand on Xia Feng's left. I really wanted to hit the director. Was it right to be afraid that the world wouldn't be chaotic? Xia Feng's eyes looked at Bai Ningbing passionately. Since the previous collaboration, he had liked Bai Ningbing, such a perfect woman who wouldn't be moved. Unfortunately, that film didn't have any kissing or intimate scenes. What a pity. The host started asking each person. When it was my turn, the host asked, Fong Yuan, have you ever been in love? I answered honestly, I have been in love, but she was too clingy, so we broke up. Sure enough, no one cared whether I had ever been in love or not, and directly asked the next person, Bai Ningbing, have you ever been in love? Bai Ningbing glanced at me, then said, I have been in love, but she was too cold to me, so I got dumped. The entire social network exploded. Who in the end dared to dump Bai Ningbing? She is Bai Ningbing. Oh my God. If I were her boyfriend, I would lock her away for the rest of my life. I took the initiative to confess to her. I had secretly loved her for 3 years. After graduating from high school, I left my hometown, thinking that I would never see her again in this life. I wrote a love letter. Whether she replied or not, I had no regrets. Sure enough, the letter was sent without a sound. She did not reply, which made me not expect that I would meet her at art school. Actually, I was very curious. Her academic performance was very good. She should not have just entered this art school. I did not know why she came to this university. After that, at school, I always avoided her because my letters were not replied. I was afraid that I would be embarrassed when I met her, until one day, someone confessed to me very grandly. I did not agree. My heart had no room for anyone else. After school, she coincidentally met me on the small road I often walked. I was scared and wanted to run away. This time she directly held me back, without beating around the bush. Fong Yuan, I like you. Can you be my boyfriend? I could clearly feel her body trembling. Her voice was so beautiful that I wanted to drown in it. She said, I've liked you for 3 years, for months and 8 days. I want to be with you. Can you give me a chance? I was dumbfounded. That moment was like a dream. The regrets of many years disappeared with her eyes. I was satisfied. I cried all day that day. Who knows how I lived for the past 4 years? Every day I dreamed of her, not wanting to wake up. She kept apologizing to me, comforting me, listening to me tell her the story of writing letters to her. She was stunned. It turned out she didn't receive the letter at all. Later, I went to her hometown and found out that I had mistakenly remembered the house number. That letter was taken by someone. At that moment I understood. It turned out that it wasn't that she didn't reply. It was just a misunderstanding. She said she had secretly liked me for many years and went to art school because of me. But I always avoided her. She thought I didn't like her. Seeing someone else confess to me, she was anxious, afraid that one day I would be taken away by someone else. I cried even harder. Then, isn't this longing for more than 3 years a waste? She was a top-notch actress and a movie queen at a young age. But who would have thought that Bai Ningbing, who was cold and noble, had never given her first kiss to anyone, would become a different person when alone? Perhaps she had endured for too long. After being together, she became especially cold, indifferent to me in everything she did. Sometimes I took the initiative to get close to her, but she refused to kiss me. I was furious. Moreover, she was always busy. It had been half a year since the first time we were together. I felt that if I continued like this, she would run away. So I quietly left a note at home and ran away. After only a few peaceful days, she ran to practice love to block me. After Bai Ningbing finished talking about the chocolate shipped by air, her eyes were still looking at me. Xiaofeng's face was red. Thinking that Bai Ningbing also liked him, the host asked again, the last person, Xiaofeng, have you ever been in love? He stared at Bai Ningbing. Yeah. Social media exploded again. Is it Bai Ningbing, is it? Oh my God, I actually got the stock. Hoo, so emotional. The host's voice trembled with excitement. Training love is so exciting. Xiaofeng lowered his head and nodded shyly. Bai Ningbing was confirmed. According to him, they weren't officially together yet, but they were already in love. Is that right? I didn't care. They were already together. In the live stream lens, it was unclear who Bai Ningbing was looking at, but the guests and actors on the scene clearly saw Bai Ningbing's eyes almost clearly writing the 2 words, Fong Yuan. After the exchange ended, the game would be held tomorrow. Tonight, I have to send a message to the person I like to pair up. Back in my room, I took out my phone and saw the situation today. The manager kept reminding me to have a good attitude. I can't let the whole social network hate me anymore. I ignored it, blocked the company's messages. Anyway, I've earned enough money. If I don't work anymore, I'll retire and enjoy my old age. Now, I sent a love message, and my phone immediately received a message. Without thinking, I knew it was by Ning Bing. Sure enough, I opened and saw a message. My little Fong Yuan, I really want to bite her face. I blushed. Every time she jumped into my arms, she would say this. She said that I was just like my name, sweet and juicy. But how could I make this message public? Right after that, my phone received a message from an unfamiliar male actor. Fong Yuan, I really want to learn from you about acting. Can you teach me? I was very curious as to why he came to me, a person who was hated by the entire social network. The accounts registered by the program all used their real names as nicknames. I hadn't sent a message yet and hesitated for a long time whether I should send it to Bai Ning Bing or not. In the end, I still decided not to send it. I still wanted to keep my heart at peace for a few more days. I could send it to anyone. I didn't care about Bai Ning Bing and Xiaofeng because I had to promote a new movie. We would definitely be in the same group. I lay on the bed, eating snacks, watching movies, and then ordering takeout. Half an hour later, the doorbell rang. I got up to open the door. As soon as I opened the door, I was stunned. My takeout was in Bai Ning Bing's hand. She was also holding a few chocolate bars. What are you doing here? I felt guilty and was about to close the door when she stopped me. Bai Ning Bing tilted her head and handed me the chocolate. She was very strong. I knew I couldn't resist her. I had no choice but to open the door and let her in. Once inside, she locked the door and put the things on the table. It's so late. Eating late at night isn't good for your stomach. Even though she said that, her hands were peeling chocolate for me. I sat on the chair and started slurping my noodles. Bai Ning Bing smiled at me, waiting for me to finish eating. She made a pitiful face like a kitten and asked me, "Why did you abandon me?" I wiped my mouth, glanced at her, tired. Just now, she was still pitiful. Bai Ning Bing immediately made a face that was about to cry. Don't believe it. Anyway, I'll never get tired of you in my whole life. Stretched out, pointed at the door. Whether you believe it or not, I want to go to sleep. Go home quickly. Do you want to be caught? She pouted, looking at me pitifully. If I get caught, I'll be caught. Anyway, after the show ends, you'll disappear. If I get caught, I'll keep you. I don't care. I ignored her, full of food, really sleepy. Whatever. I yawned, stood up. She immediately threw herself into my arms. She hugged me, sat on the chair, her head leaned on my neck, her voice soft that outsiders had never heard before. I love you these past few days. I miss you to death. What did I do wrong? Can you tell me? I pushed her head away in disgust. You're too cold. I can't stand it. Unexpectedly, she burst out laughing. Isn't it because you have a natural talent? After saying that, she pulled me up. Let's sleep together today. If you go home early, no one will see you. No way. I cried out instinctively, hugging her waist. You and I are still broken up. Break up? What? Breakup is invalid. So I woke up the next day with dark circles under my eyes. Bai Ning Bing didn't do anything to my face to avoid me being photographed. On the contrary, Bai Ning Bing was full of life, as if she had just encountered something happy. As soon as the live stream started, netizens immediately mocked. Ha ha! Crazy with such heavy dark circles under your eyes. You must have been scolded last night and couldn't sleep, right? People who don't know their own strength can't sleep. Look at Bai Ning Bing sleeping soundly. I yawned. only washed my face roughly, and was too lazy to comb my hair. Ah, this hateful person. It's even more outrageous after not seeing me for a few days. And even scared me. Do you dare to run away again? I really wanted to give her a slap before the broadcast started. The director asked us to take a screenshot of the message we received and send it to him. He was smiling happily at the two of us. He considered this message as the first person in the industry to know about it. Of course, last night he took advantage of my weakness to snatch the phone. I sent it. I just hate that I'm not a woman. The director directly showed the screenshots on the live stream. First were the messages from other people. Some people replied, some didn't. It was Xiaofeng's turn. Netizens all guessed that it was definitely sent to Bai Ningbing. The screenshot appeared. Xiaofeng. Sister Bing, I'm so hungry. I want to eat your chocolate. What should I do? The bottom was blank. Bai Ningbing didn't reply. Netizens comforted. Xiaofeng, don't be afraid. Feng. The Bai actress has always been cold. Don't mind the outside. The real Feng is in her heart. Just after sending the message, it was Bai Ningbing's turn. Bai Ningbing! Hello, little Fan Yuan. Let's get to know each other. Netizens exploded for the umpteenth time. What? Bai actress sent a love message. Fan Yuan didn't reply to Feng. Oh my God! I felt like the world was turning upside down. What was going on? That shameless Fan Yuan was actually seducing Bai actress. What nonsense are you talking about? What do you mean by seducing? Xiaofeng, your family's attempt to seduce hasn't been accepted yet. The online war broke out. Next, my reply also appeared on a live stream. Fan Yuan, didn't I and movie queen Bai already have a deep communication? This time, even my few fans exploded. Oh my God, what's going on? Is deep communication what I thought? Hurry up and beat him to death. Deep communication. Are they playing this big? After all the messages were published on the live stream, it was shown on the big screen in the lobby. Everyone at the scene was stunned, staring at the two of us with wide eyes. In a blink of an eye, it was as if everyone knew why I had dark circles under my eyes. I just want to find somewhere to hide. The first person to react was Xiaofeng. He covered his mouth and rushed toward Sister Bing, as if Bai Ningbing had stabbed him. I was speechless. If I had known, I wouldn't have participated in this program. I would have retired directly. Bai Ningbing looked at me with a smug look, gentle as water, walked in front of me, tilted her head. Fan Yuan, mister, long time no see. At this moment, everyone just remembered what Bai Ningbing said before about being dumped. Immediately understood that I dumped her. She even left a movie queen like that, running to practice love, to find me. I gritted my teeth and said, you are really scheming. I said it wouldn't be public. I don't care. Without you being a movie queen, what's the point? Her voice was not small. The whole scene and netizens heard it. Xiaofeng seemed to be stimulated. Tears fell down. Too pampered. This gaze killed me. I suddenly felt that Xiaofeng was too green tea. Why is this happening? She keeps crying. Hoo. This spontaneous share is a bit sweet. Bai movie queen knew that Fan Yuan liked to eat chocolate. So she brought it. But everyone don't forget, they have already broken up. I still ship Bing Fong in the wind. The internet has started to change. I thought the internet was full of curses, so I ignored it. The show still had to continue. According to the confession message, 5 groups of guests were paired up. Of course, I was in the same group as Bai Ningbing. The first game was, you guess what I draw. Bai Ningbing drew, I guessed. 5 groups played together. Our drawing was also live streamed. I picked up the paper. Watched as after thinking. I drew a circle on the paper. I didn't believe she could guess. I looked at her provocatively. Guess the name of a place. Bai Ningbing raised her eyebrows, propped her chin up, and looked at me. For the first time, I was stunned. How could she remember this? Netizens could guess just one circle? Oh no, oh no. Looks like they're really ex-lovers. I wonder if they can get back together? This kind of chemistry is absolute. I still remember the first time we dated. We were at Suji Hot Pot. We were late at that time. There was no room inside. I squatted under the tree outside, drawing circles with her while talking. I thought I was the only one who remembered this, but she guessed it based on just one circle. I was not convinced, and continued to draw the next picture. This picture was very abstract, and I couldn't bear to look at the result. She guessed it easily. I really doubted whether her brain had been reformed. There were a total of M deaths, and she guessed all of them correctly. Moreover, we were the fastest group to guess. At first, I had planned to let her not guess, so I would be eliminated and go to rest. Unexpectedly, my fans were finally able to be proud. But there were still many fans of Bai Ningbing who disliked me and brought up all the dark stories of my past. Those stories were all untrue and were all made up by the paparazzi. There was also Xiaofeng who said that I pushed him, and since he wasn't injured, there was no way to prosecute him. He didn't say directly that I pushed him, but every sentence he said implied that it was my fault. Our fans started a war. But every time Xiaofeng's fans spoke up, they were attacked online by other factions. It was so noisy and bustling that I just want to go back to sleep. The other four groups were still struggling. Bai Ningbing sat down in front of me. How is it? Lil Fang Yuan, are you good? A rare smug look on her face. I sighed and forced a smile. Very good performance. I'll reward you with a chicken leg. I really couldn't resist this expression of hers. It was just that I couldn't handle it. Wow, 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 wow. Is this kitten face by Film Queen? Now watching the scene of Fang Yuan helping Queen by carrying her suitcase. It's so cute and sweet. When will it come back? I can't wait. She opened her mouth and stared at me. Is the chocolate good? I only gave you 2 bars last night. Afraid that you'll get cavities from greed. We say everything out loud. Aren't we afraid of dying? Little Fang Yuan, we gave you candy last night and had a deep communication. Is it like I thought? Is it screaming and crawling? They didn't break up at all. You broke up and still gave you candy? After eating the chocolate, Fang Yuan became even sweeter. I was scared and covered her mouth. I didn't know what else this mouth could say. At this time, the competition time ended. As expected, we were the first group. Everyone stood in a row. Xiaofeng's eyes were red, and he started blaming himself. It's all my fault for being stupid. If it was Sister Bing who guessed, we would definitely be the best. I glared at him in frustration, kept talking, and didn't want to pay attention to him. Really. He was so happy that he immediately replied, I think I won't cooperate with Xiaofeng anymore from now on. Xiaofeng's face immediately turned pale, about to fall. I was overjoyed. Bai Ningbing still ignored me, as if he didn't see me. Then he looked at me and turned into a spoiled kitten face. Next, Xiaofeng acted like he had lost his soul, making his fans unable to bear it. The lunch was cooked by the guests together, and this part was also the part that many netizens were looking forward to. The dishes were all prepared by the program. This time, there were no groups. Everyone found their own jobs to reduce their presence. I carried a small chair, sat in a corner, and picked vegetables. A cheerful actress sat next to me. Her name was Chaolan, also a young flower. She posted, Fang Yuan, are you really in love with Queen Bai? Xiaolan's eyes were full of gossip. I answered honestly, broken up, not in love anymore. She immediately turned into a gossip. Really? Really? But I don't think you two broke up. Netizens ha ha ha. Chaolan. Quickly ask a little more. quickly said, I'm so curious. Why does my queen value this kind of man? Has everyone forgotten about Fong Yuan's bad deeds? He pushed Xiaofeng. What fake green tea? The netizens are so annoying and arguing again. I laughed at Xiaolon. This potato peel is so hard to peel. Ha ha ha. Fong Yuan, you quickly say it. We, the people in the entertainment industry, don't have any news, as if you two have never worked together. Her expression, if I didn't say anything would stick to me, giving me a headache. Rumors? Who would like to hear this outdated? She clung to me for a while. The other two actresses also surrounded me, starting to gossip together. Bai Ningbing rolled up her shirt sleeves, occasionally smiling at me. That perfect face and figure. Even the action of washing vegetables seemed to be seducing. The cameraman didn't miss a single shot. Netizens took out the screenshot of the previous live stream, slowly realizing that they were looking at me, not at Xiaofeng picking vegetables. Finished, I retreated from the encirclement. Bai Ningbing took the vegetables I handed her. What are you making with your tilted head? Making spicy stir-fried potatoes. Do you like it? My face was burning, and I quickly lowered my head. Should we all eat together, or should we ask everyone's opinion? Xiaofeng gritted his teeth, looked at us unwillingly, and walked over, blinking pitiful eyes. I like stir-fried potatoes. How can Sister Bing make them? Bai Ningbing coldly refused. I don't know. Then what dishes can Sister Bing make? I like to eat them all. His face suddenly thickened. I silently rolled my eyes. One sentence. Sister Bing really deliberately sticks to the people around her, talking about all the dishes she wants to eat, and in the end she still decided to make the spicy stir-fried potatoes that I like. Bai Ningbing's cooking skills were excellent. She handled all kinds of vegetables neatly. Everyone who saw her cooking praised her endlessly. The internet was full of compliments, too. I looked at her spoon-flipping movements, remembering that she had cooked delicious food for me before. Whatever I liked to eat, she knew it all. Every dish was the result of her diligent study. The corners of my mouth unconsciously curled up, but the green tea guy, Xiaofeng, started to speak up again. Sister Bang is really capable. I really admire Brother Fuang Vien. I always ate the food Sister Bang cooked. If I were you, I definitely wouldn't be able to bear to leave Sister Bang. The atmosphere suddenly became strange. Bai Ningbing finished stir-frying a dish and turned around, seriously saying, First, we are just angry lovers, not really broken up. Second, you can never become Fong Yuan. Third, stop pretending in front of Fandy. The matter of you framing Fong Yuan and pushing you, I have not settled the score with you yet. As soon as these words were said, whether it was online or on the scene, whether it was a director, the company, or Xiaofeng, everyone was stunned. I'm leaving. Is actress by telling the truth? Oh my God! What kind of news is this? Xiaofeng has been exposed? Fraud? Turns out it was fraud. Hoo-hoo. Our Fong Yuan has finally been cleared of her name. Xiaofeng dares to frame him? Netizens were in an uproar. Xiaofeng's face was pale, visibly trembling. No one expected Bai Ningbing to be so blunt. She turned around and continued to stir-fry the vegetables. It's okay. We can eat in a few minutes. Xiaofeng was exposed, his face pale, and he ran away. The director was scared and quickly stopped the live stream. After stir-frying the dishes, the actors were all experienced people. They brought out the food one by one. Bai Ningbing sat next to me, held my hand on the table, and leaned close to my ear. Be good, Fong Yuan. You were wrong. From now on, you must listen to me. Be careful, and don't break up with me again, okay? My face was red all the way to my neck. Wasn't this woman afraid that others would hear? The people at the dining table laughed sinisterly and started listening to Bai Ningbing tell our story. Xiaofeng didn't know all of these things. Back in his room, he went crazy, smashing things. Not long after, he posted a post on Weibo full of innuendos, and even the story after the pushing incident. He framed me several times. These stories were all posted online for the first time. He wanted to repeat the same old trick, trampling on me to become famous. His fans rushed to our accounts, cursing, saying Bai Ningbing was slandering and covering up. At first, I had a different view of Fang Yuan. I didn't expect that by Film Queen. The two of them were in cahoots with each other. Fang Yuan would harm Feng Feng so many times. Feng Feng couldn't help but speak out, right? Fang Yuan put laxatives in Feng Feng's drink on the red carpet. How shameless. And Fang Yuan used money to steal Feng Feng's role. In the end, she still couldn't steal it. Fang Yuan is really evil. Bai Ningbing is not a good person either. Because Xiaofeng refused to continue filming, we also dispersed. I went back to my room and found out about this. I was sick to death. I didn't understand why such a person existed. The manager called me to clear my name. Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan has encountered such an opponent in his entire life. It's really hard for him. I sneered. It's not like we don't have evidence to expose him. The manager was very supportive of me, then released the evidence. That's Xiaofeng. I've long been displeased with him. He didn't do these things before we have evidence, but we're not sure what we can do now that he's thrown himself into the net. Don't blame me for taking action. The evidence was quickly posted on my Weibo. All kind of clear videos. He framed me, put laxatives in his drink on the red carpet. The result was that he drank it himself, leading to him only appearing briefly on the red carpet and then leaving. After his fans watched the video, they turned their backs on him. Public opinion unanimously supported me. Some people said, "What a blatant fabrication." I've watched all the videos. If he hadn't been forced into a corner, would Fang Yuan still be holding back? I really didn't admire Fang Yuan's patience. Now, thinking back to the last time I pushed someone, I was afraid that Xiaofeng was also planning something. Look, Li Dao spoke up. Fang Yuan had never used money to buy a role. Li Dao had already reported it to the police. Now I had completely turned the tables. Xiaofeng cried miserably in the room, posting many posts to explain. It was useless. Bai Ningbing also spoke up immediately. She had reported it to the police. It seemed that Xiaofeng would soon be invited out for tea. I was eating snacks while waiting for the show's arrangements. At this moment, the doorbell rang. Without thinking, I knew that Bai Ningbing. Before I even opened the door, my face was already red. Actually, half of the evidence was given to me by Bai Ningbing. How could I have the ability to get the surveillance camera on the red carpet? She stood outside the door, whining. "Little Fang Yuan, I brought your favorite chocolate. This time I brought a lot of types. You definitely don't want to eat them." Why did I put my hand on the doorknob and say with a smile, "You're not eating?" If I opened the door, I would fall into a trap. Are you still breaking up with me? Yes, we broke up. But I like it that way more. It's a bit stimulating. Honey, open the door quickly. There are a lot of paparazzi coming. Hearing that, I immediately opened the door for her to enter. She locked the door as soon as she entered. She wasn't lying. There were really a lot of paparazzi coming. The director stood behind the paparazzi, screaming to the heavens. All the hotel security personnel couldn't stop them. The door was tightly closed. She looked at me with eyes like a hungry wolf. I quietly swallowed my saliva, snatched the chocolate from her hand. Is this the attitude of pursuing someone? A few chocolate bars want to bribe you. She obediently threw herself into my arms and coaxed. "I love you. I was wrong. Little Fang Yuan, don't be angry anymore. We've kissed, we've slept, we can't be apart for the rest of our lives. I just enjoyed the sweetness of the chocolate. It's not the Qing dynasty, so what if we sleep? What if you don't like me? She raised her head, looking at me pitifully. I'm as cold as a playboy. It depends on someone's expression. So now do you want to try my performance? I looked at her throat and swallowed. Why does this throat feel even more delicious than chocolate? She gently coaxed. Little Fong Yuan, will you marry me? I didn't have time to think, immersed in her warm embrace, her voice like a cat's meow. Okay, marry me. The show finally continued to record. Xiaofeng was scolded by the entire social network, invited to drink tea for all kind of crimes. So he couldn't go out for a while. Even if he did go out, it was already past his prime. I introduced a friend with good character to replace Xiaofeng. The effect was very good. Netizens quickly forgot about Xiaofeng's existence. Bai Ningbing and I were always in the same group, playing games, always winning first place. What a relief. Still a really cute couple. I'm dead. No more troublemakers. The show is more comfortable to watch. Don't mention those unlucky people anymore. Fan Yuan's acting is really good. Watching his dramas again, I see he is a treasure. Officially switch fans. Bai Ningbing quietly posted some more small videos online. Some of them helping the elderly cross the street, helping children, catching thieves. I'm almost forgetting these things. I don't know where she dug up these videos. She proudly showed me. All of little Fong Yuan's actions are recorded, even if it's just a video of your little finger. I can't bear to delete it. Such a kind Fong Yuan. How can I be the only one who knows? I want everyone to know. Such a good Fong Yuan belongs to Bai Ningbing. Just like she thought, I quickly became a top star in the entertainment industry. Different from others. I am me. Hoo-hoo, our Fong Yuan is finally famous. Everyone support him. Who doesn't like Fong Yuan? That day was a beautiful day. I thought it was a normal day. And when I discussed the next movie with director Lee, it was decided that I would play the male lead. As soon as I left director Lee's company, I casually opened my phone to see that more than half of the netizens had left comments on my Weibo. Fong Yuan, married by Ningbing. Bai Ningbing loves Fong Yuan to death. Let's help Bai Ningbing propose together. Marry her, marry her. Little Fong Yuan, marry her. While I was in a daze, suddenly the door of a car in the parking lot opened. Bai Ningbing got out of the car. A large number of fans and reporters followed her. I felt like I saw Prince Charming coming to pick me up. Tears immediately fell. I thought those words at night were a proposal. I thought we were ready to get married. No need to be so formal. But she still didn't want me to suffer, using such a big force to propose to me, without me knowing. In the hands of fans were red roses. The sound of blessing, the sound of cheering. But I didn't hear anything. In my eyes, it was only the person walking towards me. She walked in front of me, took out a paper ring, and personally kissed me. I was moved to tears, suddenly remembering that this ring was the one I put in the lost letter that year. I didn't expect her to find that letter. I took the ring, knelt down on one knee. 3 years of secret love were bitter, but after that, we were left with only sweetness. 2 months later, we got married. That wedding was famous all over the world. I received blessings from all over the world. I felt like I was the happiest person in the world.